not.
Morning.
She is live in Quincy, as she often is. Good morning, Kristen. What you up to today?
Right next to you.
And Chuck, is it your last, how do you say your last name?
McLean.
McLean. Hi, I am here. We are getting ready to take a private tour of the Behind Closed Doors with the Quincy Preserves. With me now is Chuck from the Preserves. Why do you guys put on these Behind Closed Doors tours?
Well, Quincy Preserves was started in the mid-1970s to promote the historical architecture and help people be aware of the value of it and the different designs and what have you of the historical architecture in Quincy.
And you have a real passion for this organization.
Well, I've been on the board of directors for 12, 13 years. Yes, I do.
And why is it so important to kind of show Quincy and people who want to come over from all over the tri-states these really vintage pieces?
Oh, yes. There are the different designs of the houses that the tour this year is going to promote 3 or 4 houses from the 1880s, 1890s, but it's also going to have 3 of the houses from the 1950s. So we'll give a good rounded variety of structures and architecture for people to see.
And we are actually in one of those 1950 houses, and coming up later in the show, we are going to get a private tour of it. So make sure you come back and check it out.
All right,
Cool.
We've got our tickets for the tour.
Yes, we do.
Kristen Aguirre is taking a look back into history this morning.
Yeah, and she's going through it through home. Kristen, how's it going?
Well, I am getting a private tour of Quincy Preserves Behind Closed Doors tour coming up this weekend, and we are in one of the 1950s house that will be on the tour. With me right now is Todd, who is actually the person that lives here. So tell us a little bit about your home.
Well, good morning. We just actually, when we saw this house, we fell in love with it. It's like living with the outdoors coming in all the time because of the huge use of windows and wonderful use of space. And the tour, landscaping, and everything else just really is fantastic. So almost every window you have, and we have tons of windows, almost every window you have, you've got a beautiful view of something looking in the outside.
So we're in the French room right now, and actually you guys are only the second family to live here.
Exactly. We bought it from the family who had lived here. Both the parents and the daughter had lived here, and then we bought it from the daughter. So.
And tell us a little about the family. They built this house.
They actually built this house, exactly. This used to be a part of the country club, the Quincy Country Club, and it was a part of the golf course.
Mm-hmm. And so what's the kind of feeling you get when you walk into your home?
It's open and airy and lots of light. It's filled with light, and that's because of the good use of windows and the clever use of windows everywhere.
And so I know you guys lived at your past home for 14 years. What kind of struck you to buy this house?
Well, we had actually been looking for some type of a mid-century modern home with some character and some good design appeal. And so when we saw this place, we just fell in love right away.
And so what are some of the characteristics of the 1950s home? I know you have the ceilings, and then we have the backyard that's huge.
Right. Well, you see the very first use of vaulted ceilings in a modern structure, and then you also have the various levels, so it's not mundane. It's just not all on one level. It's just some very slight increases and decreases. You have this huge spans of windows to the back and overlooking our backyard. The backyard looks like a park right now, especially with the leaves turning, and we just absolutely loved it. And then, but we also, the rooms are very functional, and we've actually changed the original intent of some of the function of the room. We changed them to suit our lifestyle and our use of entertaining.
And the structure is beautiful. It's so unique, very retro. But it's the way you guys have kind of decorated that really kind of makes this place pop. What are you guys kind of going for? What do you hope people feel when they walk in here?
Well, we're trying to get some original pieces to the 1952. It's called mid-century modern, and then also Danish modern, and that was also they were huge contributors to that type of furniture. But we also wanted eclectic and fun, and very much now something that we can use for people to have and to sit down and be relaxed and really feel comfortable.
All right, perfect. Well, coming up later in the show, we're going to continue to take our private tour of the house, and we're even going to get a little sneak peek at some past photos of the owners that originally lived here.
All right, very nice. Thank you, Kristen.
And she is coming back, apparently.
Of Quincy's oldest, vintage, most beautiful homes. I am standing in one of those homes right now, but it's not so vintage as it is retro, right?
Exactly. The house was built in 1952, and a lot of times the architectural tours are kind of focused on homes like around the turn of the century, but we were able to talk to the Quincy Preserves and say, hey, listen, there's a great little mid-century modern effect that was taken apart in our architecture in Quincy during the 40s and 50s and 60s, and there's some really cool attributes of those houses. So we have 2 of those homes on tour, and then 1 building, which is the St. Boniface building.
So you lived in your last home for 14 years, and I know you guys were looking for a change, and you have 2 gorgeous dogs that needed some bigger room to play. But what made you walk in here and say, I love this house?
We just love the way that we could see us living here. We could live here from day-to-day life and going to work and things like that, but also for just enjoying it on weekends and entertaining. It's a fabulous house for entertaining, and we just really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And there's a ton of open area here. Coming up later in the show, we're actually going to show you kind of their entertaining room in the back. But Todd is actually only the second family to live in this house. And we have kind of a little picture here, right?
Exactly. This is a fantastic picture that was given by one of the original owners. It's on loan for the tours, and it shows exactly almost when they moved in the house right after it was built.
And that's kind of the back way where it's the picture's looking at. It's looking through these little bars right here, so we can't really quite reach behind there, but it's looking from these bars over to this way, and it's just unique to kind of see how it's changed over the years.
Exactly. We have put in a lot of modern appointments, like the floors are bamboo and they're 100% sustainable, which really turned us on about that. And then we've added a new tile in the sunroom and the dining room area and the kitchen, and just really modernized it for modern living, but kept the retro feel of the house.
Right. Is it important for you to keep, because you look at this picture and the structure is the same, but it's the feel inside that is made it right now so modern.
Exactly. And then we have all the good things like dishwashers and all the nice refrigerators and stuff. But what really makes it nice is that it still keeps the feel of the home as retro and very easy living and very comfortable.
And you mentioned the floors. I don't know, Neil, you want to take a look at those floors? They're gorgeous, and you said they were bamboo. And they're sustainable. Is it important for you guys to kind of live that sustainable life?
Well, we wanted to remodel with as much green material as possible, and so these floors, another person's going to get exactly this amount of flooring probably within about 7 to 10 years from the same plant that this was taken from.
All right. Well, coming up later in the show, we're going to continue our tour of this beautiful home, and we're going to show you how they entertain.
Cool. Sounds good.
Invite us to the party.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, let's see how she's doing on her tour right now. Kristen?
Yeah, I am out here taking a private tour of one of the homes that will be on the Quincy Preserves Behind Closed Doors tour. With me now is Todd, the homeowner. Where are we right now?
Well, this is our back patio yard. That is, we actually have these 2 huge doors that open up from our It used to be as a 4-season sunroom, but we're using it as a dining room and entertainment room. Mm-hmm. So we open up these huge doors, and it just walks right out into this patio area, right into the backyard. And
your yard is huge. It goes all the way back there.
It goes all the way, actually on a 1 acre lot for in the middle of the city, which is kind of cool.
And so you were saying that this is a dog house because it's so much room for your dogs to run.
Well, when we first saw this house, we thought, A, it would be fantastic to live in, and B, we knew our dogs would absolutely love it because we just have to open these doors and they can come and go and walk around all they want out in the yard and in the house.
And the same goes for an entertainment home. This house was made for entertaining.
Yeah, it has a great feel for entertaining. People can sit in the living room and still see everything that's going on in the other rooms. They can sit out here on the patio and still be part of the house because it's just all open and flows in between all the rooms. And was that one of the things that attracted you, was how open this house is? Yes, exactly. It just has that great open feel, that open floor plan feel, and which is really cool. And I know a lot of modern homes now, newly built homes, have that same thing, but this was done in the 1950s. So it was very much forward-thinking architect on this house. When you have your friends come over for a party and they walk into your house, what do you hope they feel? I hope they feel, number one, that they're included in everything that's going on. Number two, that they're comfortable. And number three, that they actually feel like this is a place to be and stay for a while. Well, if you're interested in seeing the rest of this beautiful retro home, make sure you check it out on Saturday at the Quincy Preserves tour.
Well, those of you who watch regularly on KHQA This Morning, home tour today.
Yeah, she's at one of the Quincy's historic homes. Kristen, how's it going?
You're touring one of the homes that will be on the Quincy Preserves historic Man, I cannot get that word out today. Historic home tour this weekend. Why is it so important, Chuck, to kind of look back at history through homes?
Well, it's a lot of our heritage. It's a lot of our how we used to live and what have you, and you can see the improvements from then to today. So, it gives you a good comparison.
And you have some, usually it's kind of those vintage homes that we always see on these tours. You have some different kind of retro ones this time.
That's very true. Again, 3 of our structures for this tour this Saturday are mid-century modern, built around the 1950s.
And so you've been with the Quincy Preserves for years. What has kept you coming back to be part of this organization?
Quincy has such a huge number of old significantly historical architectural houses that people who come into Quincy just visiting are just astounded and awed by the number and the care that they have been given over the years.
When you walk into a home that you've never been in, and it's vintage or retro, whatever it may be, what is that feeling that you get?
Oh, you get a feeling that this is history, and you can look at the people that might have lived in the houses and what they did in the business world and in their own private lives. It's just very interesting.
Well, we've been looking at some pictures also from the home when it was first built to now, and I think it's so interesting to see that the structure is the same, but how different the inside looks.
Oh, yes. You can see modernization in it. We, as Quincy Preserves, like to have the houses kept as much as possible the way they were structured.
Mm-hmm. And is it important, you think, to fuse that old home structure with today's modern, whether it be furniture or flooring?
Yes, it is. Even windows. Again, we like to have them as much as possible like they used to be, but then we have to be realistic also that they do need to be modernized.
Well, if you're interested in seeing some of these vintage and retro homes, make sure you check out the tour that's coming up this Saturday.
All right. Sounds cool.